Hello everyone, welcome to round one of the 2022 New South Wales Improved Production Car Championship here at Sydney Motorsport Park. We've got 47 entrants across under 2 litre and over 2 litre categories. Let's get straight to the action. It's a wet and sodden Sydney Motorsport Park for the first race of the over 2 litres. Yeah, man Reddy and his BMW just getting around one of the Evos which stalled off the line there. Speaking of Evos, Trevan Spiteri, defending champion, moves into P1 using that all-wheel drive to his advantage, with the Commodores and the BMWs chasing hard behind him. That track is absolutely soaked. You can actually see rivers of water running across it. In car with Reddy here, you can just almost see nothing through the front windscreen. A bit of glare and a bit of spray makes for a very hard day in the office. Craig Alcorn and the big BL Commodore coming through turn 2 there. Lockie McBrien chasing Peter Hennessy. Those BMWs will be neck and neck all weekend long, I suspect. This track is just absolutely soaking wet, just very, very tippy-toe around turn 2 into the turn 3 complex there, with Trev Spiteri holding the advantage that he got. Of course, he's the defending over 2 litre champion in the category. Oh, big move down the inside from one of the BMWs. Man Reddy holding steady as they come across the line to pass Craig Alcorn. Just unbelievable how wet the track is, and it's even wetter offline, so a trip into the grass means a trip to the wall. But as the race winds down, Trev Spiteri manages to hold the advantage and claim the first win over Lockie McBrien and Scott Buckton. Much drier conditions for the over 2 litre competitors as Trev Spiteri blasts away in race 2 of the over 2 litre Improved Production New South Wales class. Lockie McBrien and his BMW chasing hard with the Commodores of Nigel Williams and Scott Buckton in hot pursuit. You can see them attacking each other here. Unfortunately, Buckton would be a DNF, but Williams giving him all sorts of hurry up as they steam through. You can see Hennessy right on the back of the pair as well. On board again with Stig Richards in the RX-7. You can see the track still a little bit damp. Ahead of him there is Charlie Khoury in the Civic EK, coming back through the field after a tricky day in the wet yesterday. That Civic actually gets driven home after the race on number plates, so just goes to show the flexibility of the improved production class. As the field storms over the line, Spiteri just keeping that advantage over McBrien, driving that BMW so well. Williams under attack there from Hennessy. Big slide there from Buckton through turn 2. Spiteri, big advantage now over the second placed Lockie McBrien. Looked like he might have gained on the rest of the field there. Some more action here. Khoury trying to round up Hennessy on the outside, but the old crafty stager is having none of it and stays ahead of the charging young buck as Spiteri crosses over to lead another lap in the over 2 litre category. Ultimately will take the win there for the second race win of the weekend, ahead of McBrien and Khoury in third place. I'm standing here with car owner Charlie Khoury with his awesome little EK Civic. Now, this car isn't quite to spec in terms of 3J or improved production regulations. Massive splitter, massive wing, but that's not what this is about. Charlie, welcome to the series, mate. You had an awesome run in the races this morning. Tell us a little bit about your car. It's not quite to spec, but it's pretty close to improved production spec, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's close enough to improved production spec. I think a couple of little things that are not, obviously the splitter's too big, the height's right, but it's just a bit big. You've got the big wing on the back. Apparently there's a couple of suspension bits that aren't legal, and if I'm completely honest, the front wheels are 9-inch and they should only be 8.5. So
now there's another awesome part to this car. At the end of the day here at Sydney Motorsport Park, you're going to bolt some number plates on this thing and drive it home, aren't you?
Yeah, I think the number plates are still on there because I actually drove home last night and came back with it this morning.
So you've run this car around. I've seen you on the Instagrams taking it to places like the Bend in Adelaide. So a bit of a fun toy. So what's the impetus? Why take it circuit racing? What's the idea behind that?
I've got another car that I've done a lot of super sprints in the past but I always wanted to get in door-to-door. And the other car is not a type of car that I want to damage. The cost to damage that is a lot higher. So taking something door-to-door, if something breaks, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Hence buying the Honda.
Now that's really good, and we're really excited to have you here. Obviously, you can't score points as part of our series, but maybe next year, mate, you can actually come and, well, even later in the year, you can make it spec and come and race for points.
Well, I think that's the idea of the invitational class, is for us to go out there, have a run, we enjoy it, and we can turn the car into a spec class car and run it and get points and potentially take out the championship, which I don't think I will because Trevan's quite quick, but yeah, we can have some fun and get some points.
Talking of fun, mate, we saw you in that last race, door-to-door with a Commodore. You're in him through the corners as the way down the straight, but that's just part of the improved production experience. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, that was heaps of fun. I think one of the best races I've had was today and door-to-door, because there's a lot of cars that are running at the same time, so there's a lot of action, a lot of battles to be had out on there, so it's good.
So there you have it. That's the invitational class for 2022. You'll see different cars joining the Improved Production New South Wales field all the way through the year. Charlie, good luck with the rest of the year, and we'll see you out the next race.
Thank you very much.
Down to the business end of the Over 2 Litres, race 3 in round 1 for the New South Wales Improved Production Championship. On board with Lockie McBride as Trevan Spiteri blasts off the line. You really see the advantage that all-wheel drive Evo has as it jumps away to an early lead coming into turn 2. McBride right up hard on the brakes with Spiteri round turn 1 into turn 2. That's Andrew McMaster coming in third position there. Great drive from McMaster, expecting to debut a new car a little bit later in the year as well. You can see the chopped up infield. If you get off into the grass, you're not coming back on. McBride lunging under brakes again. He's thrown everything he can at Spiteri this weekend. You've got to wonder what kind of tyre condition the Evo has. It might have the pace mid-corner and the grunt off the line, but it certainly does eat tyres up a lot quicker than the rear-wheel drive BMW. On board with Richards over Corporate Hill. You can see the glares are a little bit of an issue for the drivers at this stage of the afternoon. He's putting a move on a good mate of his here, Mayan Reddy. Mayan leaves the door open. You know, they might go to the pub after the race. I'm not sure how much the love affair extends out on the track as they charge up to the last complex at Sydney Motorsport Park. Spiteri flashes across the line, just gains a little bit of advantage every time he comes down the straight on McBride, which then allows him to keep the advantage around the rest of the track. Charlie Khoury doing a very good job as well in fourth position in that Inviter class. Oh, some dramas there with the 63 of Nigel Williams, the GTS. Seems to be limping a little bit, still going. And there's Khoury making a move through the field on one of the backmarker cars there. I think it might have been Scott Tutton in the Evo 2. And you see the 63 still doing the business. RX-7 of Richards comes on down the inside. So it's an interesting one for Williams. He's still, managing to drive that car around, so it must be an intermittent problem. We'll have to talk to him next time. And here you can see great advantage. You got Richards, plunges up the inside there as they come on onto the main straight. Lots of racing room given, lots of respect in improved production racing. We'll see what happens if Williams' problem's cleared. Yep, look at that. Fires right back down to turn 1, so definitely an intermittent problem for the big Commodore there. It's a shame he's been driving fantastically well all weekend. Speaking of driving well, Spiteri just managing that gap over McBride must be incredibly frustrating for the BMW driver, who's really come up in leaps and bounds over the last couple of seasons. Really leaning on that Evo. Spiteri blasts up the hill again, going on board with McBride. Beautifully turned out car. If you ever come along to a race, make sure you stick your head inside and have a look at the craftsmanship around that car. Spiteri, 3 from 3, a fantastic result for the defending champion in round 1 of the 2022 Improved Production New South Wales Championship. Well, that is a wrap for the over 2 litre production. Clean sweep for Trev Spiteri, all 3 races. The wet one on Saturday went his way, but he had to work a little bit hard on the dry races on Sunday, mate. Well done. How's the car?
Yeah, thanks, mate. Good. It felt fast. The track, I think, was a bit off the pace. Probably about 3 seconds slower than what it felt. I don't know. I was giving it everything I had, but I mean, the rest of the field seemed to be circulating about the same pace. But all in all, I'm stoked. It was a great weekend. A few good battles with Lockie. He's definitely gotten faster this year. I think, one mistake from me and he would have been straight past me. So, yeah, good clean racing, I think, for most of the weekend as well, considering the conditions. So, yeah, very happy.
Nice one. Do you think you'll do anything to the car between now and the second round at Wakefield Park?
Yeah, look, we run different final drive ratios between the tracks. In a four-wheel drive car, that's quite a difficult change. So we literally have to drop the gearbox and do that. Beyond that, give it a freshen up. Dad was driving in sports sedans this weekend, so she got worked hard. General servicing and a gearbox swap.
Nice one. Well, like you say, with Lockie McBride and some of the other over 2 litres really giving you the hurry up, it might be a bit of a challenging year to keep that championship number 1 on the door.
By all means, yeah, I don't think I can relax. He was definitely keeping me on my toes, that's for sure.
That's excellent. Well, that is it from us here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Thanks for watching and tune back in to see more over 2 litre action in the middle of May at Wakefield Park.